It's been a fascinating week for Cowboys fans, and today we need to talk about something that caught a lot of people off guard: Colin Cowherd actually showing some love to Dak Prescott. Yeah, you heard that right. The same guy who's often been one of Dak's toughest critics had a surprisingly positive take this time around. Before we dive into what he said, let's take a second. How would you grade Dak Prescott's performance so far this season? Through 5 games, under this new-look Cowboys offense, what letter are you giving him? A, B, C, D, or even F? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this one's going to spark debate. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Alright, back to the topic. Cowherd called Dak one of the top MVP candidates right now. He said Dak's underappreciated, that he's the best version of himself, and that he's doing more with less, something Jerry Jones himself might agree with. Now, let's be real, it's kind of wild seeing Cowherd flip the script. One minute he's calling Dak overrated, the next he's praising him like an elite quarterback. It's the same national media cycle, negative, 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 until Dak starts winning again. Sure, Dak might not be the undisputed best QB in the league, but right now, he's playing some of the sharpest football of his career. And while not every detail Cowherd mentioned is spot on, his overall message feels right: Dak Prescott is proving himself all over again. Maybe we just forget how good he can be until he reminds us. You know what always happens: Dak can play great for weeks, then the moment he has a rough game or two, people forget everything he's done. It's like the entire sample size of success just disappears overnight. To be fair, even Colin Cowherd actually admitted that this time. Before we get into more of his comments, I want to know what you think. Where do you rank Dak Prescott among NFL quarterbacks this season, right now? Not based on past years or career stats, just what we've seen so far. Drop your rankings in the comments. You might surprise yourself with where he truly stands. Now, let's get into what Cowherd actually said. He called this version of Dak Prescott the best we've ever seen, adding that Dak has gone from overrated to underappreciated. Cowherd said something along these lines: when Dak first entered the league, he had Ezekiel Elliott in his prime, and one of the best offensive lines of the decade with guys like Tyron Smith and Zach Martin. Dak got plenty of credit back then but didn't have to carry the full load. But now? Cowherd believes Dak's not getting enough recognition. The Cowboys don't have a true No. 1 receiver at the moment, the offensive line is still being rebuilt, the running game is serviceable, and the defense has had its ups and downs. Despite all that, Dak's finding ways to win. Cowherd even mentioned that guys like Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield have reached another level of football IQ, and honestly, he's spot on about Dak. This is a quarterback who reads defenses like a veteran chess master. Watch him at the line of scrimmage, every check, every audible, every adjustment, it's all calculated. Dak is constantly setting his teammates up for success, even when the pieces around him aren't perfect. That's not luck. That's growth. That's leadership. Right now, Dak Prescott looks like a quarterback in total command. We've seen flashes of this kind of mastery before, the same way Tony Romo hit his peak before injuries changed everything. But this? This feels different. Dak's elevating not just himself, but everyone around him. He's taking a roster that's still finding its rhythm and turning it into a winning machine. Sure, the coaching staff deserves some credit, and the offensive line is still in a rebuilding phase, but Dak is the engine that makes it all run. Cowherd might not always get it right, but on this one, he's spot on. Dak Prescott is in complete control, from pre-snap reads to post-snap decisions. And let's not forget something that often gets overlooked: Dak has been clutch on third downs since his early years. Even when he had a dominant run game and elite offensive line, he was one of the best in high-pressure moments. That hasn't changed, it's just evolved. Right now, Dak is playing with confidence, poise, and a sense of purpose we've rarely seen. It's the kind of football that makes you stop and realize, this is what a franchise quarterback looks like when everything clicks. It's 2025, and Dak Prescott is putting together one of the most complete seasons of his career. The 4-touchdown performance against the Jets wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement. That game showed exactly who Dak is right now, calm, sharp, and unshakably confident, even when things don't go his way. Yeah, there've been drops. A few unlucky bounces. Even a pass or two that slipped through a receiver's hands and turned into an interception. But that's football, and despite all that, Dak has been nothing short of elite. Kevin Cole, one of the best in football analytics, recently shared data that really puts Dak's season into perspective. Using adjusted expected points added, basically a measure of how much a quarterback truly impacts his offense, Dak leads the NFL by a huge margin. We're talking 63.8 total points added, while second place sits at 49.8. That gap between Dak Prescott and the next best QB is the same as the gap between second and nearly fifth place. It's unreal. So when people talk about Dak this year, forget the lazy narratives. The numbers, the tape, and the results all say the same thing: Dak Prescott is flat out balling. He's not just managing games, he's commanding them. And for anyone still doubting, the evidence couldn't be louder. That massive gap in Dak's efficiency numbers is exactly why Colin Cowherd has him right near the top of the MVP conversation. Now, we all know, the MVP race is never simple. Who should win and who actually wins are often two very different things. But here's how Cowherd broke it down: if he had a vote today, he'd put Baker Mayfield at number 1 and Dak Prescott at number 2. Cowherd's reasoning? Baker's won more close games, and he's playing on a roster that's simply stronger overall, a better general manager, a young star receiver, and more depth across the board. But even with that, Cowherd said something that stood out: this Dak Prescott you're watching right now, this is the best version of Dak we've ever seen. He pointed out Dak looks leaner, stronger, and more efficient than ever. Despite missing key offensive linemen, rotating running backs, and not having a true top 5 receiver, Dak has continued to dominate. Cowherd also credited offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer, and while he's no Andy Reid or Sean Payton, there's no denying he's found ways to help Dak thrive. Now, let's be real, Cowherd isn't right about everything. The Cowboys' run game has actually been stronger than in past seasons, and it's giving Dak more balance than people realize. But make no mistake, Dallas is still one of the most pass-heavy offenses in football, and Dak has handled that pressure like a pro. Week after week, he's dealing, dissecting defenses, and proving he belongs among the league's elite. So let's talk about it. What do you think the chances are that Dak Prescott actually wins MVP this season? Drop your percentage in the comments. Because if we're being honest, Dak isn't just playing like an MVP candidate, he's playing like a man on a mission. Here's the truth about the MVP race: it's rarely about who's most valuable. It's usually about which quarterback plays out of his mind on a playoff team that exceeds expectations. That's how it's always been. Right now, the odds favor names like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, and Justin Herbert. And sure, some of those guys are on teams with losing records, but Mahomes always gets the benefit of the doubt. That's just the nature of the award. But if Dak and the Cowboys make the playoffs this year, especially when most people counted them out, there's going to be serious momentum behind him. Because when a team outperforms expectations, the quarterback always gets the credit. Cowherd also had some powerful words about Dak's ability to win, no matter what's thrown his way. He said something like this: every time people say Dak's in trouble, when Dez Bryant left, when Zeke left, when Tyron Smith or Zach Martin went down, somehow, the Cowboys still find a way to win double-digit games. And he's right. Through every lineup change, every coaching shuffle, every injury, Dak Prescott has been the constant. People once said he was carried by a great offensive line, a great running game, and a stable front office. But look at him now, Even with a rebuilding roster and missing key pieces, Dak's putting up some of the best numbers of his career. Cowherd admitted it himself, this narrative that Dak can't win has always been ridiculous. Every time the critics count him out, he proves them wrong. Every single time. We can debate Dak Prescott's playoff record all day, that's fair. But here's something you can't deny, when Dak is healthy, the Cowboys win. Period. And honestly, that's been true going all the way back to the Tony Romo era. Different quarterbacks, same ownership, same result, Dallas stays competitive year after year. Now, last season wasn't great. Dak didn't play his best football, and it was obvious there was some tension between him, the coaching staff, and Mike McCarthy. But even through the chaos, the Cowboys were still right there in the hunt, because when Dak is under center, this team doesn't fold. People always bring up playoff wins like it's the only thing that defines a quarterback. Sure, it's important, everyone wants more postseason success, but it's ridiculous to ignore years of consistency just to fit a negative narrative. You can't take 95% of the evidence that says Dak's a winner and throw it out just because it doesn't fit the story you want to tell. People say, well, Dak only has a few playoff wins. Okay, but let's talk about quarterbacks like Geno Smith or Kyler Murray, they don't have more. So why does Dak get criticized for winning too little, while others get praised for winning nothing? It doesn't add up. Look at the active starting quarterback win percentages in the NFL. The list goes something like this: Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott. Notice a pattern? These are all high-level quarterbacks leading competitive teams, and Dak's right there among them. So why is he the only one treated like he doesn't belong in the conversation? It's simple. Narratives stick longer than facts. And for some reason, people love to overlook what's right in front of them. Dak Prescott wins football games year after year.